Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Live from Yellowstone, just outside of Yellowstone Park. Gewaltige stuff. We arrived and we just stayed in the house. We haven't gone anywhere yet, but our backyard is on a lake. I'll show you a video soon. Beautiful matzav. So we enjoyed watching the pelicans. A lot of pelicans around there. Before I get into it, I just want to wish Mazel Tov to our Hebrew editor. He edits all the shiurim. Took over for Kobe. Kobe does other editing, but he does the Hebrew shiur. Ruli is Rachi. His son Yaakov got married today. Rabbi Isai Yisher Koyach. The Sefer Torah is still knocking away. By the way, Mark, it reminds me that we have to make a list, and I have to start going over the names. Maybe I'll just start from the beginning and do all the, the 720s and all the 180s and all the 36ers just every day. We said we're going to knock it out. We did a bunch. We did a couple of hundred, but then we stopped. Eli Hartman took the pasuk v'avadim es Hashem Elokeichem uveirach es lachmecha v'smeimecha v'hasiroisim machlo mikirbecha amen. Adam Reich took v'haya la'ois ha'yadcha t'tafais ben einecha ki v'choyzik yol etzion Hashem b'mitzrayim. And somebody took, maybe Adam Reich took, Yisa Hashem panay ve'lecha v'yasem lecha shalom. So there's many other psukim available. Adam took that? Okay. He took 2 psukim. Got it. Shkoyach. Adam Reich, 2 nice, beautiful psukim. And on the screen you can see there's a bunch of other psukim that are available. There's 720 a pasuk. The money goes directly to MDY to get more people to learn Torah, to pay for the art, to do all the good zachen. It does not go to Eli Stefansky's pocket or to Yossi Klein's pocket or to Mark Ashkenaz's pocket. mdydaf.com/Sefer Torah. Go check it out. Be a shutaf. Be part of it. Rabbi Isai, here's the video I took. One of many to be coming, but for today, this is going to have to do. Beautiful Airbnb, mamish, a nice place with beautiful appliances, nice rooms, the whole zach. And the reason why I took this one is because of the view. Out of the windows, it's right on the lake, so you see the lake and you see the mountain view. Where this is from the second floor, there's the first floor. Downstairs, that's our fire pit, geschmack. And the pelicans all day, they actually sleep here on the dock and they just sit there and they wait to catch fish. And once in a while you see them catching a fish. There are other houses near, well, not that close by, but there's other houses in the neighborhood. Quiet place. Those are ducks swimming around. Mamish Gewalt. And then I took this picture. It's a gorgeous picture of a pelican. Love it. With the mirror image, the whole zach. This picture, I don't know when they took it, but you know the story today in Postville, Iowa, the factory burnt. I don't know how much of it, but they're out of business for now. There's going to be a big disruption in... So this is post-fire. They sat down to continue. The daf never stops. Kol hakavod to these guys. Hashem yimalach Yisroelchem. I hope you guys can continue to shecht and continue to make money over there. That Postville, the owners shouldn't have a hefsed. Here it is. Screen is up there, and the learning Torah. On the way here, sheichtim that were going to, they shecht geese for the liver in, I think it was Romania, and all 3 sheichtim. They're watching the Hebrew share. The Israelis, very nice. All 3 sheichtim, and they came to the Beis Medrash, but I met them in the airport.
That's it for you.
Okay. My name is Joel Gross. I inspired my grandson, Naftali Berger, to do the daf because he showed me a picture in the newspapers when the daf is starting, Chullin, that get into the kishkas of the cow. So I said, okay, this is something I want to do, and and I started doing it, and I want to just tell everybody that I've been doing it straight since Bays, Chullin, Bays, till today.
Wow.
Okay, haven't missed every morning after Nate's. I get the email on my WhatsApp, and I do it. I want to thank Ravelli and everybody for the opportunity. And I'll just tell you, this is something that touches my heart because I don't eat cow meat. I only eat maybe a deer meat, but inside here I have the heart of a cow. I had a mitral valve replaced last year, and they put the bovine valve in me. So I said, I came to Chullin, and I said, okay, this is something that touches my heart, and I want to do this. And Baruch Hashem, it's been going straight until now.
Incredible. Okay.
Yivaldi, Kishkoyach, Chazak Memat, should live lange yorin. There's Ashgacha in here somewhere. The same day that Daf Peites was dedicated in honor of Trump, he's sitting in the White House with some from Yidden, and also Bibi and those guys. Okay, here's a guy in a factory. Yeah, I noticed 3 guys on the couch over there watching with yarmulkes. This guy's in a factory watching the shir. Givaldi. This is very cute. He's 9.5 years old, this boy. Listen carefully.
Hi, my name is Eli Cohn. I was doing Daf Yomi for
9.5.
a long time. I want to show you how I shacht doing bedika on the knife. Here's the 2 simonim.
2 simonim.
Baruch Hashem al Shita. Whoever wants to know how to do shchita in a cardboard cache, come to me.
Whoever wants to know how to do shchita on a cardboard cow should come to him. Not on a regular cow. He's the mumcha in cardboard cows. I love it. He's 9.5 years old. His parents should have a lot of nachas from him. Kids are doing Gemara arts and crafts. It's unbelievable. This is my boy. I'm in touch with him all the time. Mendy Hecht finds Yaakov Shweki, the first picture we have of Yaakov Shweki on a flight to Israel, learning the daf. Yaakov told me that he's going, and he was a little nervous because of the matzav, but he had, I think he said a couple of concerts and a chasana or 2. He has a lot of stuff to do over there, and matzav ahin, matzav aher, he has to go. Last time, his concert was canceled because, the missiles started coming down. So I'm very proud of him that he does it, and he's holding, and his personality, he's a go-getter. Like, if you put him up to something, he's going to go till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning to get the daf done. If you beat him in a game of basketball, he's going to go out there and practice for 8-10 hours. That's how his personality. Echad b'nei Achabur Sniff Petach Tikva, Uri Koltov, the tzaddik on a plane learning, another tzaddik on the plane learning. There's a lot of pictures coming in of people learning Ben Azmanim. Chaval, Shapsi Cohen should send them to me or to Mark, and we'll put them in. Official edition of the Way Shas, the Masech, the Zevin Yal Shulov Perik Zayin, dedicated by the Benedict family. Daf Tzadik, Dov Meir Balkany, B'schos. Our children, I hope that's how you pronounce the name. Balkany. B'schos our children and the families to continuously grow in their Torah learning. Amen. David Salomon dedicated, the Masech is dedicated in memory of Avi Meir, Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Dov Zichron Levracha. The Palchik Family Foundation, may our limit Torah during the Ben Azmanim bring us closer to Yemei Gula V'Simcha. Anonymous, thank you to Chief Benny, Shmuel and Ahova Schuster for continuing Atzlocha and Nachas from our children. Anonymous for complete refuah shlema and the Arichas Yom to Leah Bas Esther, Chaim and Leah Levi in honor of the MDY family. Anonymous for my birthday and as a schos for Atzlocha of my family, Baruchni and Bigashmi. Mark, it reminds me, Chaim Levi, somebody left me a message today about him and whatever. See, we got to schmooze about this about next week. Ari Simon refuah shlema Avi Meir Baruch Ben Miriam. The Tzvi's refuah shlema to the Rivka Naomi Bas Elisheva Batya. The Monty MDY firefighters. The Nish was our unforgettable chief Chaim Gavril Ben Arya Yoel Jacobson Zechron Livracha. The Spanish Shir sponsors refers them to our dear friend of the Shir Bespanol. What's going on over there, Mark? Any news? Haven't heard from him. Joel Izuri, write to me later. And I'm saying when I finish these things and I start to share. In honor of Mazel Tov to Steve Seychelles' son, Binny, on his engagement. Mayor, what's this? All the brachas build a B&B, a Bayis Neman, a B'Yisrael. Bayis Neman Yisrael. How come the first time I didn't get it? I'm like, Bayis Neman, it just doesn't go. B&B. Yeah, your B&B. That's why. Anonymous, thank you, Hashem. Today is 2 years since my wife had surgery. Baruch Hashem, she's feeling great. Continue refuah. Amen. Yecheskel Isengard, bracha v'atzlacha to everyone learning Daf Yomi. Thank you, Yecheskel. Hatzlacha to you. Anonymous, in honor of the yard site, Hilula of Rabbi Amram ben Dewan, Zchus Yogalenu, that's the person who we went to his caver in Morocco. That's they light a fire on the caver. I felt all uncomfortable while they were doing that. mdydaf.com/shidduch to remind the Olam. Do it now, in middle of Shir. Upload your resume. Mary, you hear what's going on? We just started this thing 8 days ago or 9 days ago. Shidduch.com. Over. You heard about that. It's already over 300 now. Over 300. And 9 Shidduchim were read. 9 Shidduchim read. It's crazy. Maybe we're onto something. Maybe Mati Belsky's onto something. Today is going to be Tu B'Av. Right now it's nighttime, so it's Tu B'Av, and it's a perfect time. We wanted to upload a shidduch of somebody, but we were told that we can't upload. You need the parents' permission because the shadchan gets in touch with you. You can't just surprise people and do it. So, parents, please, we're getting there. It's a great start. 300 resumes, 300 possibilities. Well, 150 and 150. But it's just 9 days. So the more people send in, first of all, even if it's not going to be a shidduch for your kid or your loved one, but it'll give chizuk to other people. And next time I can announce 350, 400, 500. It's going to be unbelievable. Anonymous and Mati Belsky, who doesn't want me to say his name, said he's going to give $10,000 to whoever gets married first, or whatever shidduch, whoever gets engaged first. Anonymous, Lili Nishmas, Zev Tzvi Ben Yisrael, Lerderberger.
Is that 10K to the couple or to the?
To the couple. 10K to the couple. First couple that gets engaged from mdy.com. And Lazi's doing a lot of work. He's putting he's doing the AI thing. Lazi, my son, who made an app called Chessy, that goes whoever plays chess could benefit from it. He's a genius in this kind of stuff. And Anonymous, Lili Nishmas, Zev Tzvi Ben Yisrael, Lerderberger, Yitzhak Shoah, Matzal Nefashis, Ish Torah Shezachal Derz Yisharim, his neshama should have an aliyah. Anonymous, Refuah Shlema, Esther Malka Bas Fruma Rivka, and Atzlach on the surgery today. Amen. Yuri Friedman, Loihoya Yomim Toivim. Listen to this. When I read this before Shir, and I choked up. Yuri Friedman, I don't know if I know who he is. I probably do, but you know how I am with names. Befrat Akiva Simcha Ben Fega for Shidduch. Beautiful. Ubeni Matisyo Ben Anat Bekarov. Hi, Eliza. Shh. No women laughing here. Gedaliah Miller, Lezivik Haga Moshe Ben Esther Fega, for the merit of Zivik Haga Moshe Ben Esther Fega. Monthly Innovations LLC, I'm here with my mishpacha. Obviously, I came out here because my daughter and my son-in-law and the Enikal, they live in Utah, so they're able to drive to Yellowstone. They chose Yellowstone. It's our time to spend with the Eniklach and the Bezer Shem. We're going to have a great time. I'm sitting here in the living room, dining room area, disturbing everybody, but it's too bad. As a schuz, that's a first. That's never happened. But people could see on this. Monthly Innovations LLC has this chus fakiv Simcha Ben Fega and Rivka Yehuda's Batzyav Chaya and our kids too. MDYR, L'Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther, L'Refuah Sayel Daniel Zev Ben Ayel Esther, Rabbi Sai, Here we go. We're in Perek Gid Hanasha. Gid Hanasha, these are the sinews that the Malach hurt Yaakov Avinu, and therefore we don't eat them. The Tanakhama says on both sides. The Rebbe says on one side. We're going to see today. Rabbi said the good news is we have another beautiful Amud, an Amud Beis of Agadata, good stuff, and we have a beautiful, easier kind of sugyas. So we were discussing yesterday that it says in the Mishnah that hegdish, a carbon, you're over. It seems like you're over the isra when you eat a carbon. You're over on the Gid Hanasha and the carbon. If you eat the Gid Hanasha of a carbon, you're over on both. And we're trying to figure out, is it both? Is it one? And we finished off yesterday in Tzadik Amud Aleph on top, that what happened was, you're right. The Gid Hanasha develops, that's a good word. I don't know why we didn't use that word yesterday. It develops in utero. It develops in the stomach of the mother later on. So first, it becomes hegdish. If you're talking about an animal that becomes hegdish in the mother's stomach, so hegdish was first. Gid Hanasha came second. However, we do say isur chalal isur. You could add an additional isur to what you already have. You have an isur to eat this kachim, this carbon. Well, let's add another isur called Gid Hanasha. And why? Because it's a very severe isur. It's an isur that even b'nei noyach are makbid on. So the 3 lines down, Man Shams Le'Yisvara, who holds that the Gid Hanasha was already also to Bnei Noach? Rabbi Yehuda. That goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. The thing is, and Rabbi Yehuda is going to say, Isser Chalal Isser. When it's such a severe Isser of Gid Hanasha, let's say you have a baby Isser, you have a Isser that's only a 50, kachim, eating kachim. And then you have an Isser that's Gid Hanasha, that's a 90. So there's room for the Isser to apply itself because it's a larger Isser, it's a greater Isser. They heat up the Gehenim, they put a couple more degrees of temperature. It's more. So since it's more, you could add it. It's Chamer. Because it's a Moisev, not going into that one. It's a Chamer. But who says that? It's Rabbi Yehuda. The problem is but we're going not like Rabbi Yehuda now. Why? We learned in the Mishnah that Gid Hanasha applies to both sides of the thigh, the right thigh and the left thigh. And Rabbi Yehuda says there's only one thigh. Says the Gemara, you're right. However, I'm going to pick and choose. I hold like Rabbi Yehuda that Gid Hanasha is Isur Chamor. It applied in the time before Matan Torah was already also for Bnei Noach. But however, we're going to argue on Rabbi Yehuda. We're going to say that Gid Hanasha applies on both sides, even on the left side. Says the Gemara, when do we say that Isur Chal Isur, that Isur Chamor could apply itself on another Isur? That's when we're talking about an animal that's tamei, like a lion. The Isur lav, to eat its Gid Hanasha, is only a minor Isur of a lav. But kachim, we're referring to a carbon, the Isur kares. To eat it is a very severe Isur, it's kares mishamslei. So how could you add an Isur? Yes, it's a severe Isur of Bnei Noach, but there's no room for it to go on top of a kares. Kares is very severe. Says the Gemara, okay, you're right. We're going to take it back. We're talking about an animal that's giving birth for the very first time in its life. What is that called when an animal gives birth for the very first time to a male? It's called a bechar. Bechar has Gedusha. But when does that Gedusha happen? It happens only as it's being born. When it's born, not before. It's not Kadosh when it's in the mother's stomach. So, Elohacha ben vakeres askinon the berechem Kadosh. When it comes out of the womb, then it becomes Kadosh. Now, it's very good. If you hold that the Gidan Nasha happens when it's in the stomach, so you had Gidan Hanasha before, and then afterwards, when it's born, it became Kaddish. So the Gidan Nasha, you're asking, how is he Chayv on the Gidan Nasha? Gidan Nasha happened before. But let's say there is no Gidan Nasha when it's in the stomach. You're not Chayv on Gidan Nasha in the stomach. You're only Chayv when it's born. So guess what? When it's born, two things happen simultaneously. You have the Gidan Nasha, and you have the B'char that happen simultaneously. So the Gemara, V'Baisema, or the Pshat is Vladis Kachim B'Havayasam Kedushin. No, we're not talking about a B'char. We're talking about regular Kachim, regular carbon. But guess what? A carbon that you're Magdish, the baby doesn't become Kaddish when it's in its mother's stomach. The same idea that we said by a B'char, but we're going to say by a carbon. The animal becomes Kaddish as it's being born. Oh, as it's being born, then but here's the thing. The Gid was before. We're going to go according to the Manor. The Gid happened before. So the Kachim doesn't apply itself on the Gid. Omer B'chir Bar Yosef. New Sugya. Omer B'chir Bar Yosef Lishanu Ela Kachim Anechalim. This idea that the Isser of the Gid comes on top of the Isser of Kachim, that's when it's an edible carbon, like a Chatos, a Shlomim. Here, let me see if I do have a list, I put it in. So, over here you see from the Kachim list, on the right side, the Kohanim eat the Chatos, the Kid eat a Hasham. On the left side, you eat a shlamim, you eat a carbon pesach, you eat a taida, you eat a nazir, you eat a b'char, you eat a meiser. Okay, so those are definitely edible. Aval kachim shein nechalim, what kind of kachim don't you eat? Like an oila? Oila you can't eat. Ein iser gid noig b'hem. You're right. Then you're only over on the iser of kachim, you're not over on the iser of gid. The Gemara is going to say that they don't argue at all. Doesn't matter, even on a oila, there's an isser gid. Here, you see, Rav Papa is consistent throughout Shas. No argument. Don't argue. Let's reconcile. What's the word I was looking for? Not reconcile. Let's make a pshara. Let's compromise. Rabbi Yochanan, who says that it's asur, he means to say you get malchus. What you did is asur. Who's the other one? Rabbi Bar Yosef, who says kachim anechalim, he means when there's kachim anechalim, when it's edible, then you're allowed to bring it up onto the mizbeach. So, in other words, what he's saying is that on a oila, this isser of gid is only on animals that you're eating, but on a carbon that you're not eating, like a oila, you're allowed to bring it onto the mizbeach. Rav Papa, some say in Rav Papa himself, there's no machlokes kan lecholtzai. Since an oila is not edible, you don't eat an oila, the entire oila goes onto the mizbeach, you don't have to remove the gidan nasha from the oila. But what Rabbi Yosef was saying is that to put it on to the mizbeach, after you took the gid out, do you put it on the mizbeach? Rav Nachman, we're going to see in a minute. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Omar, La loisoi pligi. The kol machlokes between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Bar Yosef is, can you bring this animal onto the mizbeach Rabbi Yochanan says, no, you cannot. Can't bring the oil onto the Mizbech. And Rabbi Chia Bar Yosef says you could with the gid, I'm saying. The Sanya. V'hikter akoynes hakol HaMizbecha. It's referring to the oil. You take the entire oil, hakol, everything, you put it on the Mizbech. The rabbis, what does hakol mean? What is hakol? Yeah, you put the oil on the Mizbech. Why? What's everything? The rabbis, ha'atzamos, v'hagidin, v'karnayim, v'atlofayim. All the non-edible parts, the bones, the sinews, the horns, the hoofs. Yachal afidu perishu. I would think even if they were separated, these sinews were separated from the animal. Only the meat and the blood, but no other things like sinews. So it seems to be a contradiction. We said only bas v'dam, and then you tell me put the sinews and the hooves onto the mizbeach. So maybe the pshat is you got to take out all the sinews and then put pure meat onto mizbeach. It says you should put everything on. So which one is it? What's going on here? Okay, tzad. If the sinews are attached to the carbon, then you put it onto the mizbeach. It will be awesome for you to take the sinews out. Perishu, but for whatever reason, a bone popped out, the sinew popped out. Do not put it onto the mizbeach. Once it's not attached to the animal, it doesn't go on the mizbeach. Mark, if you're able, I don't know if I see you're up and around. On chart 35, that thing that says on top in the red in the circle, just take it out, erase it because it doesn't belong there. I should have. It was there for me to fill in, but I forgot. Oh, Rebbe, who's the Tana that says that if a sinew came out of place, a bone came out of place, you should not put it on the mizbeach? It's Rebbe. How do I know it's Rebbe? The Sanya. Victor Akoin is Akol. The rabbit, perfect, yeah. That the kohen should bring everything onto the mizbeach. The rabbis, all the non-edible parts, the bones, the sinews, va'afidu perishu. The Tanakama says, even if they come out, even if the bone is not part of the meat, put it on the mizbeach. And what about the part of the pasuk like we discussed a minute ago? It says in the pasuk, you should only put onto the mizbeach meat and blood, but not other things. It says Gemara, bepoikin. What's bepoikin? So poikin is pieces of carbon that fly off the mizbeach because of the heat. Here we go. So says the Gemara, Hoketzad, Ikuli basar atamachzer. If the meat was semi-burned and you're trying to finish up the job, so you gotta put it back on the mizbeach. But if the bones were singed, they started burning and they flew off the mizbeach, then those you don't put back on. And this is what we're looking for. Rebbe Oimer, finally. Rebbe Oimer, Riba. It seems like the kohen should put everything on the mizbeach. Riba. It comes to add stuff. Because it says only two things, basar and dam. What should I do? If whatever's attached to the animal, all the additional things like the bones, the sinews, the hooves, they go on the mizbeach. Perishu, but once they're disconnected from the animal, then even if it's on top of the mizbeach, you already got there, you're there, take it off. One say, listen, I don't need a pasuk to tell you that if a bone is inside an animal, then you don't have to take it out. Of course. Why? Look at this pasuk. You should put the roish. We showed it many times. We could have shown it again. Yeah, we have 13 kohanim. Each kohen, one kohen holds the head, the other kohen holds this. You cover it with the blanket of the fat so it doesn't look bad. Different, where the wound is, where you cut the leg off. And these kohanim, they bring it all the way to the top of the mizbeach. One of the things they bring on is the roish, the head. Now the head has a lot of bones. So it says, oh, but yet the Torah says, bring it onto the mizbeach. What is it talking about? That when these extra items became detached from the animal, you have sinews that flew out, you put it back on the mizbeach. Says the Gemara, "V'Rebbe mechubarim de teira lo yitzich kra l'rabuye." Anything that you're allowed to eat, similar to a head, you don't need a pasuk. Ki yitzich kra l'gidanashe b'mechubar. Oh, so finally I have Rebbe here that says that I need a pasuk to say that you could put onto the mizbeach the giranasha, even though the giranasha is also for you to eat, but since it's attached in the leg, so you put the whole thing, you could put it on the mizbeach. Rabbanan says Rabbanan. Okay, let's do the turning of the daf. Bayadar Global and Schus, Tomati, and the MDY Shidduch team may all turn the page to a new chapter soon. So Rabbi says it's Tubav today. You're watching this, it's already Tubav. Today is a day of Zgula for Shidduchim. So what could you and I do for Shidduchim? We want to do, everybody wants to help, and everybody says, I'm going to read a Shidduch, but they don't. So what can you do? Tell people about this, because in 8-9 days, there's already over, because I heard this about 10 hours ago, over 300 resumes, over 9 Shidduchim ret. You hear what I'm telling you? 9. That's a lot. 9 different girls and 9 different boys read a Shidduch from this one idea. How does it work? You put your resume in there, you answer some questions, and then AI goes to work. And AI tries to match it up. And AI never forgets. So take your resume, and as soon as another resume comes in, it'll say, is this a good match? Maybe. It's not a shadchan, it's not a human being that you have to constantly call them and remind them. It's on the AI's mind, and it has certain criteria. It goes by the, for example, the age maybe, or whatever it is, type of shidduch you're looking for, a working guy, a learning guy, I don't know what. And if it's a match, it sends it out back to the girl, back to the boy, and the girl could decide, I want, I don't want. If they do, then it goes to a human being. We have Shatchanim. I know that Shlomo Lazarian's wife is very involved, and the rest I don't know, but there's 10 people that are actively working, and there's 15 that want to work, that want to be Shatchanim, so Givaldik, Bezer Hashem, and the first couple to get engaged is going to get the gift of $10,000 from the creator of this whole thing, who's Mati Belsky, who doesn't want to take credit for it, but it's him. Encore Healthcare as a schus for Klal Yisrael. mdydaf.com/shidduch. Upload a resume and help make shidduchim happen, especially today. I'm telling you, Tu B'Av is a zgula for shidduchim. This is when the girls would go out in the white dresses, and the boys would come, look, a whole thing in the time of the Gemara. So it's a time for shidduchim today. We don't have that, but at least we could help out and we could do our part. Tell people about it. People that are not in MDY. Doesn't have to be dafka MDY if I care. Zog the Heilige Gemara. V'Rabbanon mimashke Yisrael. So we had this, if you were with us in Zvachim Menachas. The Torah says, not the Torah, the Navi says, mimashke Yisrael. Mashke Yisrael is in Yechaskel. It has to be from a drink that Yisrael would drink. In other words, it has to be something edible, something that's mutter la'achila. Min ha'mutter Yisrael. So therefore, a gid anasha, which is not mutter to eat, yeah. So mela, yeah, and not a gid anasha. That's awesome. The Rebbe needed to have achila v'dam. Rebbe says no. There are other things that are completely usher, but we put them on the mizbeach, such as, well, if you weren't here for Zvach Menachas, maybe I should show you this. Where was it? Chalev. The forbidden fats go on the mizbeach. Here, you can see in the top left corner in the bowl, those are fats. They go on the mizbeach. What else did I want to show you? Oh, this also goes on the mizbeach, but it's not mashki Yisrael. The blood. It's not something that the Klal Yisrael drinks. You're not allowed to drink it. Elamai, it's not a problem. So too, not a problem. Okay, the ikar carbon is zrikas adam. That's the main avoida of a carbon, zrikas adam. Okay, that's the Torah said to do, so that you put that on the mizbeach. It doesn't mean that you should put forbidden things like gid anash on the mizbeach. Omer avuno gid anash shel oila cholsel tapuach. So in middle of the mizbeach, and this is what we're gonna discuss, this tapuach. If you just look at this picture, tapuach is that middle thing, that round mound is called a tapuach. So Gemara is saying is that the gid nasha you have to cut out of the thigh and put it onto the pile, onto the, so to speak, the garbage, the leftover stuff that's in the middle of the mizbeach. You're not makriv, you don't put it on the fire as a carbon, you take it out. Omer Rav Chizda Moridechi. It's like today we say Rebbeinu Shalom. I don't understand what you're saying. Miksiv al kein lo yoichal ha-mizbeach. Does it say the mizbeach can't eat a gid anasha? Al kein lo yoichlu b'nei Yisrael. It says that b'nei Yisrael can't eat, but the mizbeach could eat a gid anasha. Says the Gemara Ravuna Mashki Yisrael men amut Yisrael. Don't worry, we're getting to the Haggadah. We're getting there. All the videos are in the Haggadah. So, as it says in Cheskel, there has to be something edible. And since the gid hanosh is not edible, no can do, you can't put it on the Mizbeach. Meisvei, gid hanosh shlomim, mechavdei la'amo. The gid hanosh of a shlomim, what do? Chatas hanoshim also says Rashi. You take it, mechabdei la'amo. I'm going to show you a video, what that means. There's a little stream that runs through the Beis HaMikdash. You take it, put it into the stream. V'shaloyla, what do you do with the gid hanosh that you're not allowed to eat of the oila, ma'aleyu, and you put it on to Mizbeach. Ma'lav, l'chayra, ma'aleyu l'maktira. What does ma'aleyu mean? You put it on to Mizbeach. Where? You burn it. You makriv it as part of the carbon. Loi, ma'aleyu v'choltza. It means you take it up to the Mizbeach. It's like you tease him. You take him up. No, I'm not going to be makriv you. What do? I cut it out and I put it onto the mound, onto the tapuach. Says Gemara, I don't understand. If you're going to take it out anyways, so why do you bring it on top of the mizbech and take it out over there? Take it out on the bottom. There's a whole butcher shop in the Beis HaMikdash. There's a bunch of marble tables where everybody's cutting the meat. Cut it out over there, and then bring it up nicely to the mizbech. Says Gemara, no, you got it wrong. The Torah says, the Navi says, that when you bring a gift to a ruler, you bring a nice gift. You don't bring chopped up meat that you went through with a knife and cut out, what do they call it? Verbatim, it's on the tip of my tongue. Bekitzer, what they do in the shlachtais today, they cut the sinews out and they do arbitrary. Okay, maybe Mark will have the word. So the point is, yes, it's a better cut. It's better for us to eat but it's very sloppy. It's cut here, cut there. You want to give the Rebbeinu Shalom a full piece of nice thigh. Yes, it has this, and then on top of the mizbech, you cut it out and you put it on. But as you bring it up, you're serving it to Hashem. You're gifting it, so to speak. So the gift should be a nice full piece. Oh, I have to show you this video. It's a good thing the Gemara brings it again. Tanya Kavaseder Rav Huna, Gid Hanosh Shlamim, that of the Gid Hanosh Shlamim, Mechabdil Ami, you put it into the stream. V'Shalayla, that of Oyla Cholza L'Tapuach. Let me show you the video. Ah, that's a nice piece. Takes out the Gid, puts it on the Tapuach. Shlamim, the Gid goes somewhere else. That's the Amma, look at that. Special for MDY. Floats down the Amma. Now I wonder if that's the right direction of the water flow. Some guy's gonna figure out that no, it goes from the west to the east. The Mizbech is positioned like that, so it goes the other way. Okay. Rabbi say, here goes the Agadah. There was something called an apple tapuach, a round mound. It was smack in the center of the Mizbech. So that's from the beginning of Shas. Anytime the Gemara says 300 or 400, it's a language of an exaggeration. Many times in Shas it says he had 300 barrels, 400 barrels, 400 parsa, it shook 400 this, 300 that, many times. And over here the Gemara finally tells us straight out that it's guzma, that it's an exaggeration. That was 300 kur, which is a tremendous amount that doesn't even fit physically on a mizbeach. Amarava guzma, this is an exaggeration. This is another thing that says, Hishku as hatamid bekoishel zav. They gave water to the tamid. Every day they brought the carbon tamid twice, once in the morning, once in the evening. They would give it water to drink so that you could remove the skin easier. So they gave him water from a golden vessel. It wasn't gold, it was copper. So that's an exaggeration. This is Tapuach, I guess it's an older video maybe. Yeah. Okay. They're giving it to drink from a golden vessel. And Basnach, and we also have the Puach was 300 kor. There's so many korbanos, there's so much going on that there's 300 kor. Omarava guzma. It's an exaggeration. It wasn't gold, it was copper. Omar Rabami dibra Torah lashon havai. The Torah spoke a lashon of simple, a simpleton. In other words, an exaggeration. So this is how humans speak. I told you a million times not to exaggerate. So the million, exaggeration. Dibru Nevi'im Lashon Havai, you see the same thing, the language of the Nevi'im. Dibru Chachamim Lashon Havai, you see it in the Gemara. Dibru Chachamim Lashon Havai, Hodamar, as we just said, Chacham said, oh, there's 300 kur on the Mizbeach. Dibru Torah Lashon Havai, the Torah says in Mefurish, Orim Gdoilos Ubetzurs Bashomayim, there were great fortified cities up in the heaven. But no, there's no fortified cities up in the heaven. Dibur Nevi'im Lashon Havai, Vatiboka ha'aretz lekoilom. The land split by their voice. So my chavrusa, when I was learning with him, I was in the airport, flying from Chicago to Yellowstone, and he's like, they say that singers, they could sing and they could break glass. I said, nah, shtusim. He says, not shtusim, look it up. He says, if you look it up and it says it's not shtusim, I won't tell anybody. Because he was giving the shir today in Hebrew, because I was on the plane. I said, no, I said, tell him that I looked it up, and in fact it says if you hit the right decibel at 100 decibels, you could break shattered glass, provided the glass has an imperfection. So I told Kobe to look for a video. Here we go.
Singers, you want to know how to break a wine glass with your voice? This is how you do it. Scares me every time.
So I guess you have to. He flicked it first. Interesting. He flicked it, and then that started some sort of process, and his voice just continued it. Interesting. Okay. So when Shlomo HaMelech became king, he was knighted. He was giving the melucha. So Klal Yisrael burst out in a song. But Tibaka Aretz the Kohen was so excited, the earth cracked open like a glass cracks from their voice. So that's exaggeration. In 3 different places, Chachamim spoke with a guzma. Elohein, tapuach, gefen u'paroiches. Tapuach hodamar, that there was 300 kur on the mizbeach. That's an exaggeration. Gefen, grapes. The snan. Gefen shalzav hoisei medes al pischoi shel heichal. There was grapes that were on the entrance of the heichal in the Beis Hamikdash. Umudla gabi kleintzos, and it was hanging on these beams. V'chol mishoy misnadev gargil alesh komei b'toileba, and anybody that wanted to donate would put it on that. Or Elazar Tzaddik, Ma'isa Hoya, there's a story, V'nimnu aleh shalosh meis kahanim l'fanois. Again, the lashon of 300 is a guzma. 300 kohanim went and they emptied it. Here we go. We have a beautiful video for that. Those are the kluntzais. You can see the poles. This Hasidim, they actually work in this. It's a good job. Anovim. Yes. The off-tune guy. The guy that thinks he has a good voice. Paroiches. And where's the exaggeration of the paroiches? The snan. Reb Shimon Gamliel Oimer. Mishum. Reb Shimon Azgan. Paroiches of Tefach. What's the paroiches? Here we go. Paroiches. The paroiches was the divider between the Heichal and the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So this is ours. It's not that impressive, but I like the way they did the paroiches. It's never open, but there were 2 overlapping curtains, and nobody would go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, obviously, only on Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur. How thick is this? That's a guzma. Paroiches of Tefach, it was a Tefach wide. Val Shivim Ushnaim Nirim Nereges. It had 72 Nirim on the the weaver, whatever, the thing that Peretz Chaim Levine got us. V'al kol nima v'nima esrim v'arba chutim, and every string, every rope string is made actually out of 24 smaller ones. Arka, in other words, the height, the loom. Thank you. The loom. Arbaim ba'ama, 40 amma. V'rachba esrim amma, and the width is 20. Umishmoini mushtei riboy nasis. A riboy is 10,000. 80 to 10,000. In other words, 820,000 nasis is made from threads. 820,000 threads. Ushtai moisim b'shana, and they would repeat this process twice a year. Make it twice a year. And once again, here's the guzma, v'shalish meis kohanim, and 300 kohanim were needed to matbilan. They would put it in a mikvah, and they needed 300 kohanim to put it in. The Vilna Gaon says, how wide is this? This is 20 wide, 40 tall. So that means that it's a total of 40 plus 40, because it's 40 tall. So you have two sides that are 40. That's 80. Two sides that are 20. That's 120. 80 plus 20 is 100, and another 20, 120. 120, that's 120 amos. Says the Vilna Gaon, the am in the Beis HaMikdash was made out of 5 tfachim. So do 5 times 120, it's very easy, because 5 times 100 is 500. 5 times 20 is another 100. So a total of 600. That's 600 tfachim. Yeah, it's 120 times 5 tfachim. That's 600 tfachim. If you have 300 kohanim holding it, because they all want to hold it as much as they can, so it's exactly 600 tfachim. That's why maybe it says 300. Not that they actually held it like that, but that was his cheshbon of how you get to 300 kohanim. But the Gemara says that was a guzma. They didn't need 300 kohanim to put it in the mikveh. Okay? New sugi, Rabbi said. And with that, it's 2 minutes, and with that, we're going to finish for today, and I have to give another share in Hebrew. And Yishkoyach Gadol Ma'od to Mark Ashkenazi, who was patient with me, and even though supposed to give shir a couple of hours ago, but things got delayed, and it's very late in New York. It's not as late over here, but it's really late in New York. So Yishkoyach, it's after midnight. B'yerach she'yiminu b'yerach she'smal. The Tanna Kama says that the Gid HaNasha applies to both sides of the animal, the right thigh and the left thigh. Says the Gemara, doesn't like Rabbi Yehuda. Our mission doesn't go like Rabbi Yehuda. The sign Rabbi Yehuda, it's only in one thigh. Now, which one? Right or left? V'hadas machras, and logic dictates as shel yamin. Das is logic, but the Gemara is not so sure what it means. Das can mean, your brain says it's the right. Ibaylo, mifsha pshitile Rabbi Yehuda. Is it 100% to Rabbi Yehuda that's only the right, or one of them? Umay das Torah. Das Torah. Oh. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Chas v'shalom. No. Okay. So he got this from the Torah. So the Gemara's suffix is it a suffix for Rabbi Yehuda? And he says it's only one, I don't know which one. Or he knows for a fact. Umay das noita. Now, what's the svara? So Rashi says an interesting thing here, that when the Malach was fighting with Yaakov Avinu, he grabbed him and he wrapped himself like this. So his right hand came all the way around Yaakov Avinu's body and grabbed his right thigh. He didn't grab the one closer, he went around him. And when you go around somebody, came around his back, and Yaakov Avinu was facing him. So Yaakov Avinu's right thigh was next to the Malach's left, and he came around and grabbed his right thigh, and that's the thigh that he injured. Tashma. We're talking about a carbon pesach. Ha'atzomis v'hagidim v'hanoiser yisrfu l'shisha asar. Supposed to eat the carbon pesach one day, from the 14th through the 15th. Anything left over, night, the 14th, the Leil Pesach, you have to burn. Now, you can't burn it on Yontif, on the 15th, so you wait until the 16th. So, what are you burning? You're burning bones and sinews and noisar left over on the 16th. The Gemara asks, what sinews are we talking about? If you're talking about sinews that have a halach of meat, let them eat them. It's meat, you're allowed to eat them. And if they're left over, and it's at a time that you can't eat it anymore, hainu noisar, anything left over, even regular meat, steaks, lamb chops, you won't be able to eat it. It's called noisar. So why are we calling it gidim? Ella, gidit savar. It's those of, here's the sinews in the neck. They're very, very rough, tough, I should say tough. They're not edible. So if they're not edible, ilav basaninu lishdinu. So then what's the problem? Throw them in the garbage. Why do you have to burn it? No, we're talking about the sinew that we're talking about in our sogya, the gid anasha. And it goes according to a review that says the gid anasha is only one time. Now, if Rabbi Yehuda wasn't certain what side, Shapir, it's great. Why? Because since he has a suffix, he doesn't know if it's the right or the left, so you can't eat it. You can't eat either of them, so you burn it. But if Rabbi Yehuda is certain, Lamashal, he said, I know that the one you're not allowed to eat is the right, but the left one you could eat. So what's the problem? The Teira Lichlei, if it's the left one, let him eat it. And if it's the right one, the Yisur Lijdei, and the left one you should throw out. What was the problem? Why do you have to burn anything? The ones that are edible, you should eat. The ones that are mutar b'achila, you should eat. The ones that are also b'achila, you should throw out. No, he knows for a fact. Let's say he knows for a fact that you're not allowed to eat the right one, you're allowed to eat the left one. What happened was, you put it on the side, you said, okay, this is the left one, I'm going to eat it. But then your kid came and mixed it around. So now you don't know what to do, so you have to burn it. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.